Hey guys, welcome back to the JoeyPlaysGamess Podcast. It's episode 16 of the podcast, and this week we're discussing Loki. I know it's been a while since we've recorded one of these. It's been for a variety of reasons. Life's been busy. A bunch of us started working full-time jobs and doing college summer classes, so it's been really hard to record additional content, especially when it hasn't been this huge Disney Plus show that demands our attention. But we're back. Loki premiered earlier this week on Wednesday, and we got some stuff to talk about here, boys. But before we get into the show, I want to introduce my co-hosts. We got my brother in here in person with me in North Carolina.
Give him a hug.
Oh, I'll give him a hug. I'll give him a hug. Oh, look at how uncomfortable he looks. Just look at that face. Look at that face. And then we got...
I can't see it, but I can hear it.
You can't see us?
I can see you guys.
I can't.
Okay, well, that's not right. Owen will figure it out. And remotely from via the waves of the internet, we got Owen and Ronnie, our normal regular co-hosts on this podcast.
Guys.
Welcome back, guys. Owen, what is it with this? Why are we doing this? Like we're just here. All right. Well, he's glad to be back. So I'm glad to be back too. I look forward to this podcast when we shoot this podcast. Nicholas looks like he needs a Red Bull.
Nick is excited to be back.
Yeah, he's just... It looks like he's phoning it in this week. But, you never know with Nicholas. Sometimes we can throw back to the pre-Snyder Cut predictions. And
hey, don't even bring out a DC property, Nick. Come on.
Dude,
get excited.
sometimes
he'll really turn on them jets
wild.
And, he'll find something to pick on me about and just get going. Well, all right. Now that we've welcomed everybody back and done doing introductions, let's talk non-spoilery, top level of what we thought of the pilot of Loki. I want to start with Ronnie. What'd you think?
So I've said it once and I'll say it again. Unlike the other two before Loki, I think what Loki has done that the other two haven't been able to do is captivate my attention and also just kind of my excitement for the series as a whole in such a drastic level off the first episode. Because like with WandaVision, we had it on episode 3/4. Same thing goes with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But with this one, like I'm saying, like the first episode just had me hooked from the start. So, yeah.
I think...
My audio is not being captured.
No. Your audio is good, but for some reason Discord moved, and I was trying to rearrange the pieces, and then it moved back. So now I was trying to undo.
See you just
react to technical difficulties. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Like starting all over again.
I think we're good, but I am cutting off a lot of my forehead, which is making me look like I've got a 5 head, even though the hair's doing something today. Oh, and what did you think? No, I'm good with it.
Captivating.
Utterly
captivating. Best first episode in like one of these shows.
Owen would even say gripping.
Gripping, thrilling, enthralling.
Riveting.
Riveting's another one. Nick, what did you think? Really? We sat and watched it together with the fam on Wednesday night. What did you think about it?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was the strongest intro that any of the Marvel shows have had yet.
Okay. You heard it first from Nicholas. He likes the show. All right.
Dude,
and
you're bleeding now because you did that.
No, I'm looking at the gate down here. We're fine. Okay. As long as we're not in the red, we're good. But we're getting a little close to the red.
You're getting close to the red.
It's okay. But I've learned from professionals where you're supposed to talk into the mic. You're kind of just there back here doing this thing. So
I'm not back. Okay.
Man. All right. I enjoyed the show. I thought it was very, as everyone else has said, enthralling, gripping, thrilling, captivating. Kept me
New York's bestseller.
Glued to the screen. Yes, could be a New York bestseller. Absolutely. And I just had
America's
a blast.
#1 movie.
I just had a blast. Yes. Can we get Ronnie? Can you give us your example of the VO from a trailer where they start talking in the voice where it's like,
America. America's new summer #1 movie.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Nick, you try. Come on, say
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Nick, same.
Make sure you speak into the mic.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he said. I'll be
He
honest.
said America's #1 summer movie.
America's #1 summer movie.
There we go. Fantastic.
That was
No
perfect, Nick.
world
That was
where
better.
Loki is America's #1 movie.
Yes, we're back, baby.
Where do you get this energy from?
What do you mean? It's my friends. When we start doing this, I get a little rambunctious. Look at Ronnie. He's
Hey, give Nick another hug.
Which is fine.
Another hug. Get him into it, Joe.
Look at him. Look at him.
I hate it. I hate it.
He's my little baby boy.
I hate it.
I can do whatever I want with him.
Yes, because you get mad when I do something back.
All right. Well, now that we've all talked non-spoilery about the show, and then we've rambled on about trailer VOs and me torturing
My
the crap out of
personal
Nicholas,
boundaries were violated.
let's get into the spoiler level of the show. And I want to start with Ronnie because in his thoughts, he really he elaborated that there is going to be. It seems very much in this pilot episode that there are a lot of implications for what the future of the MCU will be. And Ronnie, I want you to kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, in Loki, right off the bat, we get thrown into the multiverse, or the idea of it at least, with the TVA's kind of introduction of the multiverse war, making sure everything stays on the one true timeline. And I feel like being thrown into that for the first time, I feel like in an MCU property, or at least like blatantly being thrown into that, it really opens the door for a lot of things. And I feel like they did that best when they show Loki kind of seeing all these Infinity Stones collected in just a random desk drawer, because it takes everything we saw that was such a cataclysmic event from like phase 1 to 3 and diminishes it down to like a freaking joke. So to imagine how big the multiverse is in this series and how, I guess, powerful that kind of force is, really just kind of expands the possibilities that we can have in the MCU starting from phase 4 and onward, which is really interesting to think about.
Yeah, I loved the power of that joke. It's throwing one of the biggest incidents in the MCU in their world and using it as a joke and talking about it like it's a paperweight. And then to see Loki, who sought after all this power of the stones and knew what it could do, and gave his final sacrifice in Infinity War for those stones to just give a one last act of defiance against Thanos, and then to see all that power diminished to holding down a bunch of papers. That was pretty cool to me. And yes, I think you are right that the fact that we're playing with the multiverse and the concept of the timeline it sets up a lot of very cool components for the show to keep playing with. Nick, what did you think about the multiverse aspect of the show in this pilot episode?
Well, I thought it was more time that was covered, not technically multiverse.
I mean, it acknowledges
they're
the multiverse,
acknowledged, but
yes,
I
you are
feel
correct
like,
that it focuses more on time.
But in general, I feel like it did a really good job of kind of being like, all right, it established rules, and it kind of went like, I don't think it's for the Infinity Stone stuff. I don't feel like it's diminishing what happened in the Infinity War. I think it's just situating it in a larger context.
Oh yeah.
True.
So I think it's more like you can kind of look at it. Some people look at it like glass half full, glass half empty. Of like, it's now you just have a different perspective on what that means. So,
Yeah, you phrased that really well. Proud of you. Glad I'm related to you. Owen, do you have any additional thoughts you want to add on that to wrap it up on the topic of the Infinity Stones and the multiverse of it all?
Just saying that was pretty cool how they just showed them all in a drawer. It really just like kind of in the grand scheme belittled everything that Loki was like trying to do. It's just like, fuck, there's like 5 other Tesseracts here, dude.
I think, wait, real quick, I think one thing I found really interesting in that shot, so I paused it because I watched it twice. On my second viewing, I wanted to see which stones were in there. And I found it interesting they have every stone except the soul stone, pretty sure. Which is obvious
Yeah.
because you'd have to sacrifice someone for that one. So I thought that was pretty cool that they didn't just throw in a soul stone casually because it shows, I guess, the value of that stone out of all the other ones. So, I thought that was interesting.
I think it also kind of implies that
Good observation.
there were probably other variants that had captured the stones when they weren't supposed to, but no one had the balls to pull off the stone to acquire the soul stone that wasn't supposed to get it. So I think it's like what Nick was saying, that it doesn't make what happened in Infinity War and Endgame not important. It just means it almost makes it more important. You know what I mean?
I feel like if anything, it shows that there's a stronger force out there, and that kind of can be scary when you think about how cataclysmic that event was. To think that there's a power that's even greater than that. You know what I mean? And also just the idea of how like Loki reacted seeing that, because like that's his life's work, or that's what he wanted his life's work to be. So it's like imagine seeing everything you think is capable in your life and being thrown in a place where that almost means like a speck. Like it's kind of like that idea where like, oh, compare yourself to the space, like the expandedness of space. You feel small. It's kind of like that. You see all these stones here that, in your point of view, are the most strong, like the most powerful things in the world, and to see them be like literally, like you said, paperweights. It's like that really makes you feel small.
Yeah. I think it's
Shit.
it sets up the possibility of the different forces at play that we're definitely going to see come into these more bigger Phase 4 stories, like the Eternals, like probably Love and Thunder to some extent, and I mean Quantumania, all sorts of things that are Spider-Man. I don't know why that took me forever to get there, but all these stories that are going to start telling these huge kind of almost event scale like stories. I think it's going to be cool because obviously the way they're talking about the multiverse and the timeline in this episode is implying that a lot of stuff is going to start happening either as a result of WandaVision or as a result of something that happens in this show. So it gets me hyped, which is why I think all of us were hanging on every word. You could feel the scale and the impact that this show will have on the MCU for the future. So from just after we talked about that, I want to segue into performances. So we got a couple. Obviously, Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston headlining the show,
AC.
and then we got a couple other actors playing some key roles that I forgot about the top of my head. But I don't remember the ladies' names, and I'm sorry. I was gonna look at my phone, but you started judging me.
The guard lady that kept chasing after Loki, in the captions, I don't think I saw like a formal name. It was like Sergeant B1 something. I don't know. That's what I saw in the captions. So I don't recall a specific name.
I didn't hear the name either.
Yeah, I'm looking it up really quick. Owen Wilson's playing Mobius, so we got that one. We got that one under
Mobius
wraps.
and Morbius.
Yeah, okay, so Gugu Mbata
Mobius.
Raw is playing
Love that.
Ravana Renslayer. Stop, Google. I'm not asking you to Google Stranger Things. Please let me alone. And then you were right. Wumi Masaku is playing Hunter B-15. So let's probably refer to them as the Judge and Hunter B-15. Because I think I at least would probably mess up their
When
names,
they,
and I don't want to do that.
They called the Wedding Crashers guy Mobius. That shit hit different. Tough name.
Yeah, Mobius owned Marley.
Mobius was a dope name.
Yes.
That dude, Mobius and me.
Oh, don't remind me. Don't remind me.
Marley Mobius.
Okay, so
Yeah,
what do
I
we
couldn't
think?
stop hearing Lightning McQueen. I could not.
What did we think of our kind of four main characters that were introduced.
I like the cast. I really like the energy they have of each other. It's like, first off, I'm interested to see more of that chemistry or whatever it is between the judge and Mobius. I like their kind of like back and forths.
Yeah.
So, and the judge seems like a really like well casted role, really good actor. So I would want to see more of her. I love the guard, Hunter B-15, right?
Yep.
She's really funny. I like kind of like she's like the bad cop. It's a good cop, bad cop kind of thing with them. So I kind of like that.
That's gonna be fun.
And but yeah, overall performance were really well. Owen Wilson surprised me. I haven't seen a lot of things where Owen plays a like more serious role. Maybe Marley and Me, but even that I can barely remember. So seeing him take on this more kind of gritty,
That was
like
just a bad dog.
serious
so.
role was very interesting, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I think he's kind of one of the standouts. Obviously, Tom Hiddleston captivates the audience anytime he's on screen, but I think Owen is a good pair to set him up with to continue on this for this series, to go on this adventure we're about to go on. Nick, do you have any?
Yeah, I really enjoyed him, and I think we covered it. Like you wouldn't think of Owen Wilson as a kind of like a almost dramatic actor, but he pulls it off really well, and it's not like he's veering far from his roots, but it's his roots are being just directed in a different way. It's being cultivated instead of the comedy for comedy's sake. It's comedy to be alleviating of like the actual serious topics that he's kind of like pushing Loki to admit himself.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Beautifully said. So, I think there's two moments that I want to talk about, and then we'll kind of do whatever we want for the rest of the time. The conversation scene where they're just kind of going through Loki's life and his history, and kind of having essentially a therapy session. What did we think of that? Because I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was great seeing Tom Hiddleston break the character down, because we've seen Loki be, I guess, more genuine here and there through bits and pieces with his dialogue with Thor every now and then. But this is the first time that I feel like we really see his psyche kind of dug into, and kind of like see him break down and really see himself for who he truly is. And I feel like we haven't gotten enough of that in the series. And I feel like not series, like in MCU, and being able to see that for the first time here on full force, where it's just him, he's the star. I appreciate that a lot. Like, we loved his character and basically everything he's been in. But now seeing him center stage and being him fleshed out as the main character, it's well done. It's really well done. I loved it a lot.
Yeah, it really adds to his whole character, like a really cool way that I did not expect that they would do. Like when he was like back in like 2012. Yeah.
Yeah, I personally thought there was a lot of depth in that performance, especially in those scenes where it was going through the high beats of what we've seen of him so far in the MCU, and Mobius kind of sit there almost like a fan or a family member would, in kind of like an intervention kind of moment in somebody's life where it's like, why are you doing this? Like, I like you, but why are you being this way? And it kind of gets him to provoke. And because this is the Loki from 2012 in the first Avengers, not the Loki that dies in Infinity War, he doesn't have the same emotional growth that we had seen him have in the MCU. So I think this was a really unique way to kind of accelerate the growth, but also to have it feel earned. That it's not having him go through the same cycle in a span of an hour. It's having him go through seeing. It's almost like watching your life from the outside perspective, and then being told, "Oh, so that's what happens." Well, what if I didn't want that? What would I change? And it sets him up to have a really interesting anti-hero level kind of story here, where he goes to help track down other versions of himself. So I'm glad we all enjoyed that scene because that was definitely
makes
one of my
him
highlights
his
of the
own
episode.
like character.
I think one of my favorite parts about that is the fact that he didn't go through the whole greatest hits part with Mobius. He came back to it himself once he
Yes,
escaped and
100%.
chose that for himself, you know? So it's like that was, who knows, maybe Mobius would have shown him his demise and everything else in between, but to see him kind of go through it himself and realize it by himself, it's as honest as it can get because Mobius isn't there to try to be like, oh, this is what happens, you know, try to explain it. He's kind of experiencing it for himself as raw as it can be. You know what I mean? And I feel like that was really well done, especially in the way that his reaction was evoked through the way we see his face change with scene after scene after scene. But yeah,
Yeah, it's to get him to come to this conclusion on his own, not to feel like it's being forced upon him to take this role.
Yeah.
It's him going, "Oh wait, I can be better. I don't have to be this way." Because it's not pound for pound the same moment, but it's like the reason he changes in Ragnarok and has the upswing of the hero's journey that leads to his sacrifice in Infinity War is because of the time that he had in Dark World, where in between movies he's kind of sitting in that prison and reflecting on himself, and then he gets a taste of the power at the beginning of Ragnarok, and then things just spiral out of control. But he still finds it better having these good moments rather than just trying to make people kneel. So, I think there's a lot to unpack with that scene that makes it very powerful. Okay, and then the one small scene I want to talk about before we get to the last big scene is what did we think of looking at the TVA from inside into the little like outside time statues and world thing? Because I was sitting on the floor literally 6 feet away, and just
That's not 6 feet.
okay, it's not 6 feet, but it's like it could be 4 or 5 feet.
I'll give you a 4.
Okay, regardless of the footage, I was sitting there, and my face was beaming because I loved the world that built in just one scene where it gave a sense of scale of what this pocket TVA dimension is, and it was awesome. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but I just had to get that off my chest.
yeah.
Cool
When I saw that scene, the first thing that came to my mind was actually this podcast because it reminded me a lot how Nick emphasized the that one city that we saw in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and like
Madripoor.
how like Madripoor. There we go. And how like seeing that city and like seeing it really expanded like the idea of like the MCU being something beyond just the States or like Europe or something. This being more like a galaxy level. Yes, we've had like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that, but just this
I'd
city
argue
is so
that stuff never felt like that though. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. That's
Like
what I'm saying. It,
we've had
like
these
that felt
locations which felt authentic, but it never felt like it was straight ripped out of a page.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it felt
And
like I could go walk there instead of it being like that's something somebody dreamed up and then put on a page and it doesn't look real, but it
looks real here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think a big part of it, and one thing I wanted I kind of just quickly acknowledge is that this show's soundtrack is so
Oh yeah.
captivating, and I feel like hearing that like kind of dreamy like synth starry esque music play as you're like panning to see the whole city, it's just so nice, and I feel like I got that way. One of the reasons my favorite scene is Loki seeing the stones and then kind of walking up to the TVA and seeing that single little line of like the true timeline and like him being like this is the greatest power in the universe is the soundtrack playing behind it only adding to it, and I feel like
I'm getting
I
goosebumps
don't
as
know.
you're talking about it. Damn it. Let's go.
Yeah, no, it's just the soundtrack is beautiful, and I feel like it only helps it so much because, like I said, the moment that sound starts playing, you're taken away from the scene. You forget about Owen Wilson for a second. You forget about Loki, and you're just seeing this marvelous piece of work, and you're like, this is what comic book movies are capable of. This is what we're trying to like work to. This is it's just beautiful. That's all I can really say.
Yeah. Awesome. You got anything you want to say about that or
No, I thought it was like. Yeah, no, I think you've covered it. Like,
Okay. Well, the last thing that I really think we should talk about in relation to the plot is the ending of the episode, where it is revealed that they are chasing after a female version of Loki. No,
it wasn't revealed yet, but
it wasn't, but we knew.
everyone knows. See,
Oh,
everyone who's kept up,
I swear that it was
Oh,
said in a
yeah,
moment of
it was.
dialogue.
that they're hunting a Loki variant. Yes, but they never
Oh,
Yeah, they never said
specified what the
female.
variant was. You could have
Oops.
kind of understood from assuming from their hand,
oops.
but
Also from how they were like dressed when they like lit the fire.
Oh, I didn't even look at the hand.
All right. Well, I guess it's not even really spoilers.
it's not.
It's not because it would have been revealed
Context
eventually.
clues. That's why context clues matter.
True. It could be a theory. We could be wrong. It could be
Exactly.
Loki when he's taken
It,
over
it
as
could be
president
it could be
or
Mephisto.
mayor.
It could be Mephisto. Who knows?
True. But I want to talk about that scene where it's the variant police stormtrooper looking things in the middle of the field, and they say it's oil, and yet they walk through it and then get caught on fire.
Yeah, that was. I was like, hold up. Yeah,
That's just like goofy. That was goofy, man.
Hey, Nick, give me your thoughts on that scene. What are your thoughts on the gasoline scene? Oil.
Yeah, like it's for someone for people who seem to have all the time in the day. They seem to be real lazy, like real lazy.
I was like, go.
Owen
Sure.
Wilson seems to be the only person that's like really kind of like trying to spend his time to do something. All of them have the time, but they don't seem to be wanting to spend it. Being a little abstract here, but like in the 1800s scene, they're like, "Come on, let's just reset it and go." But Owen Wilson wants to go talk to the girl, kind of like get his establishment of like what happened, what did you see, but that so on and so forth. And you see it again with this last scene of they're like, "Let's just reset it. Why spend any more time than we have to?" And then that's like that mentality kind of shows the contrast of people in the TVA. I think that we'll probably see between like him, the judge, of like them being more people who are trying to spend their time and try to figure things out, while the other people in TVA are just trying to save their time, I guess. And I don't know. There's something there. I'm not hitting this spot.
Yeah, no.
Completely.
I think for me, it was just kind of like a moment of like, what the hell, guys? Like, these guys, after seeing like the events, like not only the whole like, oh, TVA is really strong because they have like those time powers and stuff like that. And I'd be like, yeah, let's just prune it. Too much paperwork. And they walk there, and I'm like, even I thought about it before it happened. I was like, who just puts oil around the grass like that? I was like, I'm sure someone's gonna light a fire, and they're all gonna. And surely enough, they did. And it was. And you would think that their armor, at least their armor, can protect them a little bit from the fire. This futuristic ass looking armor or whatever they're wearing.
Definitely,
But,
there was no screams.
Yeah, 1500s like normal fire was enough to take out these futuristic technology soldiers. So that was great to see.
Yeah, I was talking about that scene with one of my coworkers, and I was like, yeah, they call out that it's oil, and then they walk through it, and he was like, yeah, I guess these police officers or whatever they are just stupid, man. Like they just seem stupid, and yeah, they feel a little stupid, except for B-15. And okay, another moment that we should probably talk about is when Loki pops up in the Gobi Desert and then gets punched with the time stick or whatever, and it is slow motion. No, nobody else wants to talk about that.
That did peak.
You guys froze up for a second, so I wasn't sure if you guys were saying.
Oh, okay. Well, we were mimicking it.
Yeah.
We were slow.
I think what was funny. I was like, when I first saw this scene, I was like, damn, they're really carrying out the slow mo. And then a second, I was like, oh, it's probably gonna be some kind of like on purpose thing, and then it was. That's what I liked about it. But aside from that, it was just a nice gag.
When
Yeah,
they
it-
explained
great.
why that was happening. That was pretty cool.
yeah, but
You're
The
going at
explanation for it.
1/16th time, but experiencing all of the pain.
It was cool.
Yeah, that was dope.
Cool. And then I guess we should talk about, if anybody's been following the show's Twitter thing since its release, there is a moment where there is a lady that walks out of a time portal, and it looks very similar to Peggy Carter. What do we all think? Is it Peggy Carter? Is it not? I'll start with Ron.
I saw theories of that, and I was like, I don't know, man, because that, to be fair, Peggy Carter, like, her hairstyle is a very classical hairstyle for that time period, so it could really be anyone. And knowing that this is like can deal with all of time, and we're seeing a lot of pre 20th century era stuff / pre 21st century era stuff. I don't want to say it is, and if it is, it'd be interesting to find out. But for me, so far, I'm saying it's a nah. I don't think it is.
All right,
It'd
Owen.
be interesting if it is. I personally didn't see it, so I mean.
Okay. Nick.
I
don't
think
remember.
sure you could say it was a Peggy Carter, but it's not our Peggy Carter. We don't know if she's the same one that had that relationship with Steve, who has that same kind of dry, kind of take no bullshit type attitude that we've seen her have. So it might be just kind of like, is Peggy gone criminal or something? Like, sure you can do it, but it's like, if they don't say it, it's all it is just people trying to just get a good thumbnail for a YouTube video.
And the new Mephisto, if you will.
Well, we saw the devil, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was Loki, right? It's like an interpretation of him. Yeah.
yes.
So
Well, unless it wasn't.
true.
Oh God, if it's
It's like
Mephisto,
it's the fly on the wall. So, yeah, I don't think that's real. I think it was very conveniently looking very similar. If it is, I think there's an interesting component there. But if they would, in my mind, if they were to do Peggy Carter, they would have had Haley Atwell on screen saying something, and it somehow would have either referenced that her and Steve getting caught, that they're not supposed to be together at the end of Endgame, or it's her from a different timeline playing a role similar to Mobius where she is a time cop. But in either case, it wouldn't be a background extra character. So I think that's enough of that. Is there any news that we kind of wanted to talk about on top level? I know we said we weren't going to do news, but I didn't know if there was anything in the last 4 weeks that anybody wanted to talk about.
I didn't see any.
Owen goes, no. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Ronnie?
I heard about some kind of trailer dropping or some kind of teaser. I tried looking for it, but I couldn't find anything. Do you guys know of any teaser dropping within the past week?
Let me tell you, I got a story to tell you. Is this going to be an interesting discussion if I've ever had one? The Spider-Man No Way Home Twitter account posted a meme the other day, the one that's the car on the highway swerving in the wrong direction, and it's fans expecting the trailer to drop at 9:01 every day, and every other fan patiently waiting, and every fan is swerving for the 9:01 trailer drop every morning. All these scoopers I follow on Twitter, your Charles Murphys, your Daniel RPKs, your Naciao Marvel from Brazil, they're apparently in some random theater. There was a trailer leak or an early screening of a trailer, but you never know if that picture was photoshopped, and you don't know. All I know for certain is that Tom Holland had a birthday the other day, and then he said on his Instagram story that something is coming. That's all I got for you. But yeah, it's been a long, winding road with that trailer. Everybody, all day long.
When does Eternals come out?
Eternal. Oh, we haven't even had a chance to talk about Eternals. That
Yeah, that's what I
trailer
was
dropped in
wondering,
the
too.
meantime.
That was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, Eternals was November 6th. It's definitely trailer dropped in between the podcast. So let's talk about that for a second.
Dang, so wait, hold up real quick. So we're gonna get
I'll go for
Black
the
Widow,
trailer.
uh, Eternals, Shang-Chi, all that right before Spider-Man.
Yeah, and we'll
And
probably
then
get another
Spider-Man,
show.
and then Multiverse is coming. Like, yeah, we're getting What If, right?
We're getting What If, and either Hawkeye or Miss Marvel, in my mind, will also start airing
God.
before then.
Dang, so we basically 2020 had 2020 we had nothing just so that we could get like straight, brutally by MCU for this last like 6 months of 2021.
Yeah, dude, I'm all about it. Let's be honest, man. The
I'm down.
7 week drought or whatever it was in between Falcon and Winter Soldier and this, I was just existing. I was moving from one place to the next.
I don't even think it was 7 weeks. I think it was like 5.
I think it was 5, but it felt like 7. I just felt like I was there. I watched one episode of the Bad Batch show and was like, "This is cool," and then never watched anything more of it. So, yeah, I'm happy MCU is back. I'm gonna get to it eventually, Owen. I've been busy. When
good.
school finishes the summer class finishes next week, so I'll have more time to game. I mean, I have the new Ratchet and Clank game, and I haven't played a minute of that yet. So.
Dude, new Guilty Gear, dude. Shit's fire.
Hey,
Looks
no
fire.
clue what that is.
Yeah. Okay, but let's talk about
Surprised you
Eternals for a
don't,
second.
dude. Fighting game, dude.
Eternals, what do you guys think? Nick, thoughts?
They don't need to have it
I forgot
that
I
close.
saw the
I'm looking at the
trailer.
Okay.
game. It's fine.
I think it was definitely the most. It was one of the. It had a completely different visual palette compared to every other Marvel movie that we've seen so far, and I feel like with the whimsical elements that think they're trying to attach to the Eternals characters, I think that palette is going to work for them in the benefit.
Ronnie, what'd you think?
Very, very fresh hot take, Nick. I thought it was it's a compliment. I'm not being sarcastic.
Okay.
What's it called? I thought it was interesting. Okay, so their cast is very high-powered, geared cast. Like
Cast is
oh,
freaking
it's up-
fantastic. It's
it's
killer.
Up, it's up there.
We
It's
got
up
Richard
there, but
Madden.
part of
We
that,
got Salma Hayek. We got Kumail
Dude.
Numanji yoked out of
in
his
a weird
gourd.
way, part of that, like part of having that, like
Jon
at least for
Snow.
me, well-known cast, because I knew almost every friggin' face I saw there. Part of that, to me at least, made it feel almost like it's not a Marvel movie, just because I'm kind of used to like them bringing kind of like somewhat fresh faces to the screen, or at least
True.
faces I wouldn't be familiar with. So, in a weird way, it made me feel like, oh, this is gonna be like a classical summer blockbuster, and I know it's not. It's Marvel. They're gonna make it. At this point, Marvel is a classical summer blockbuster, but it was really interesting to see this ensemble of characters and be like, wow, these people are gonna be in the MCU. That's gonna be interesting to see added onto the MCU family, per se. So that was kind of an interesting feeling that I had while watching the trailer.
Yeah, I loved how the trailer felt like it had scope to it, where it was, as we've been talking about with Loki, the time aspect and how that brings another level of complexity to the show. It just felt like, because this is supposed to encompass characters that have been living for the eternity of time, that was another aspect that I was like, the love dynamic between Richard Madden and the girl, and then I was just I'm enthralled. It makes me want to watch Chloe Zhao, the director's last movie, Nomadland, to get a little kind of taste of her filmmaking style just before we go into it, because apparently they used a lot of practical sets. So they didn't use a lot of computer imaging, which can play in the benefit, in my mind, to creating some really dope stuff.
I don't think we're gonna see a beam in the sky.
We're not gonna see what?
A beam in the sky.
Oh no, we will not see the Frost Bridge open or whatever the.
Just watch
Bifrost.
the trailer, like right now.
All right, Owen, what'd you
Looks
think?
good.
Fresh reactions. What'd you think of the captain or the Iron Man being dead and they're gonna fight over who's gonna lead the Avengers? What'd you think of that line?
That seems. It was pretty funny. I mean, seems interesting.
I'm excited for more of those moments in the MCU, kind of
And
referencing this stuff.
world, or at least the part of the world that they're showing in Eternals, looks pretty dope. We definitely,
Yeah, location-wise,
feel
it
like we haven't really
definitely
seen something
looks cool.
like that. Yeah.
Let's see. What else we got? Ronnie, did you see any of the drama surrounding some of the HBO Max releases? So they've confirmed they're putting Batwoman, or no, not Batwoman, Batgirl, Blue Beetle. I think there was a confirmation about one other one, but I forget. That they're going straight to HBO Max, no theatrical release. And then there was
That is very interesting.
a bunch of people that were like, "What? These are characters that deserve a theatrical release." And then we also got confirmation that Chris McKay's Nightwing movie is not dead. I saw a post today that Green Lantern Corps and the Supergirl movie are probably next up to find their directors. The scriptwriter for Zatanna really is enjoying writing some dark material. Let's see, what else do I got? There's a rumor going around that Superman's going to pop up in Black Adam in a thing, but the rumor didn't make any sense to me, so we're just going to ignore that rumor. People keep talking about the Batman, but that's just because they're starved for content. Everybody knows we're probably not going to see anything from that till fandom,
Yeah.
DC fandom in October. We got a little
I will say
Shazam
this,
2 costume reveal.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was cool. I will say this about the whole movie thing. I kind of want, like, if they want to have it on HBO Max, like that's cool. Like go ahead. But part of me kind of wants at least them to have like a limited run for the theatrical release. If they don't want to put it up there for 3 months, fine. But put it up at least for like a month or two, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like some of these movies I would want to have that kind of experience, and I feel like it doesn't benefit unless they want to do the whole, just throw and see what sticks kind of idea. I guess it benefits them to just throw that wall onto the HBO Max, but I don't know. I'd be much more on the side where like I at least want to have the chance or option to see it in the theaters if I wanted to, or see it in the comfort of my home if I wanted to.
Yeah, I think that the day and date model is going to be very interesting to see how it keeps playing out, because I know In the Heights dropped this weekend. I'm looking forward to watching that on HBO Max, but the director's pushing people to go see it in theaters, and I'm wondering how sequels get greenlit. What are the metrics that you need to reach numbers wise for a sequel to be greenlit? How do you qualify something successful? Do you do it based off subscriber base? Because subscriber base is going to fluctuate. It's not like Netflix where everybody just kind of sets it and forgets it. How does the new pay tier with ads come into all of this, where it's if people pay for that, do the lower tier at what? I think it's $8 or $10 a month to get the ads at the start of everything, but everything that's not HBO Max produced will have ads on it. So I don't know. There's a lot of weird factors with that one. I was surprised because Static Shock was the other one that was confirmed to be HBO Max exclusive. But all three of those are in some way viewed as minority characters. One of them being the female, one being Hispanic, and the other being a black superhero. That we're going to shelve those to a streaming service that doesn't have any like proven thing, because you've got misplaced metrics when it comes to Zack Snyder's Justice League, where some people think that thing did really well and they're just covering the numbers up, while you've got others that are saying that it did okay, but Godzilla vs. Kong and Mortal Kombat surpassed it numbers wise. So I don't know. I want those movies to do well because I really enjoy those characters. Static I haven't been as familiar with, but I imagine a Static movie is going to kill it.
I'm a big Static guy.
So I don't know. I assume we're going to get probably a No Way. It's what? Today's June 11th. Back to the No Way Home thing. I think we're going to get a trailer by the end of June, first 2 weeks of July. So anytime in the next month, I'd say we're going to get a trailer.
right, let's everyone guess a date, and whoever gets closest wins when it releases.
Nick, what's your date? If you can't hear, he's just tapping his finger.
The 19th.
The 19th of June, which looks like it's a Friday from the calendar, but I can't read this far away. Ronnie, what do you think?
24, 29.
24 or 29? Which one? Can't pick two.
Oh, Joey, why do you gotta make this decision? I'm gonna go with 24.
24. Okay, so we've got, let's see, pull up the calendar. We got Nick saying the 19th, which is a Saturday. Yeah, that's not happening. We got Ronnie giving us the 619. What? You're just making jokes.
25. June 25th.
All right. Ronnie's got the 24th, which is a Thursday. I could see that happening. You said 29 was the other one?
Yeah, that's another option.
29 is a Tuesday. I see 29 more likely than 24. Owen, what about you?
29.
All right. We're going
25.
29.
25th.
Ronnie.
If it's in June, I feel like it'll be like on a Friday or something.
We got Owen
The
going with
25th.
the 25th. We got Nick on the 19th. Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Nick, Spidey. All right. And then it all comes down to me. What do I think? I almost think, because you got the holiday weekend with July 4th, that it drops
Oh shoot.
that
Why,
it drops with Black
bro?
Widow.
You solved the puzzle.
That I
That's genius.
can.
Call it in. Put it in, Joe. Put it in.
I'm gonna
good
put it in. I
call.
want to just
Good
see
call.
Black Widow's date first before I put it in. I think it drops to Black Widow. That makes sense to me. Black Widow, July 9th. It's July 9th. Tickets are on sale, by the way, for anyone who cares to pre-order your tickets in an area that you're going to need to pre-order tickets.
I'll do.
Spidey trailer. No, I'm going to go with the 8th, I think. Right? If it's a trailer dropping with a movie, is it going to drop Friday morning at 8? Or is it going to drop Thursday?
Thursday. Because they're gonna have the midnight release thing.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
Do Thursday. I think that's the safest bet. Plus, they're also so far in deep that no matter which day you pick, you're safe. If it gets within either one of those dates.
True. Are we playing Price is Right rules so whoever's closest wins?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, imagine it gets revealed in the next week and Nick's the one that wins.
Yeah, well, then he wins. That's what.
Even though he was making a 69 joke.
Oh,
that's. Well,
It's genius.
let's see. Yes, he is a genius. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk to my friends about on the internet before we close this out? Oh, we didn't get a chance to talk about the 2 animated series that they greenlit for HBO Max. Did you see that, Ronnie? No. Okay, so they're gonna do remember the rumor we talked about with the Batman the animated series getting another version on HBO Max?
yeah. We already talked about that.
We're getting a new one.
Wait,
It's
a
confirmed.
new one on top. A new one on top of the new one.
Oh wait, so did we talk about this?
Yeah, we did.
And the Superman show?
Not the Superman one, just the Batman.
Okay, but when are you talking about the time in February when we talked about it and we were like it's a rumor?
No, I'm talking about the time we talked about like a week or so, or maybe even 2 weeks ago or something.
Did we talk about it on that podcast?
I vividly remember talking about on it one of the remote ones that you had.
I'm gonna agree with Ronnie.
You think it did? Am I just that stupid?
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and you were like, Like, what do you think is gonna happen with this? And Owen was like, "Oh, it's interesting." That's it. It's like,
Yeah, but I feel like you're
Yeah.
remembering the time that I talked about it being a rumor.
It's 3-1, Joseph.
no,
Just
because
move
you
on.
said it firm.
Okay. Well, they're doing that
No.
and a Superman and Lois animated adventure show that some HBO Max exec talked about it as a rom-com.
No, actually, I think you might have mentioned the Man Lois too. Now that I think about it,
All right. Well,
Okay, now I know you're capping.
I said maybe. I'm not even.
uh,
I feel like I roughly maybe I'm misthinking that with the current Superman and Lois show that's already going on. That's like
which I'm 2 episodes behind on. I need to catch up on. Last episode was okay. The first 3 episodes of that were really good, and then kind of went downhill. And then it took a break, and I forgot about it. I don't think I got anything else to talk about. Nick, can you think of anything?
Nick.
I get my
Anything from
insightful-
E3 that you think you want to is worth discussing on this Loki podcast?
Wait, has E3 started yet?
Yeah, E3 started 2 days ago.
Who has gone so far, Nick? Who has said anything? So far?
Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest was yesterday. Koch Media and Netflix was today, and then Ubisoft and Xbox and Bethesda go tomorrow. Right?
Nintendo on this
Saturday.
plate or no?
They're Sunday. Is Nintendo tomorrow then?
Yeah,
I know
no,
Ubisoft
think
is
there's
Ubisoft and
been
Nintendo tomorrow.
rumors
Is that what it
of-
is?
yeah.
UB's tomorrow because
UB is tomorrow. I know that for a fact.
It's Xbox, Bethesda, and who released Avengers?
Square. That's Sunday.
I think that's Sunday.
When's Nintendo?
Nick thinks it's tomorrow.
It's either tomorrow or Monday.
Monday makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's Monday.
Here.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
Somebody-
been some
somebody fill
leaks
air
saying
while I
that
find
there'll
it.
be New Pokemon
Well, I
trailers.
think in
Oh,
terms
what do you want to hear from?
I almost think you're gonna get a Legend of Zelda 2 or Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh, that's definitely gonna happen.
Yes.
Let's see.
I feel like they're gonna also have to
Breath
show
of the
something from
Wild
the
2,
open world
the
Yeah.
trailer for that,
Pokemon.
too.
We're probably gonna talk about a new
Arceus.
Yeah.
character or something.
Yeah, new Pokemon trailers. There was a rumor that they were gonna be shown at E3.
Yeah.
Which is dope. There's also rumors that they're
Okay, Xbox is
doing
Sunday.
stuff with the graphics for the Sinnoh remix. Thank God.
Why you didn't Google it? Yeah. In terms of entertainment, there's a bunch of like game specific properties that were getting lit for like animes and stuff. So like Splinter Cell now has its own animated show coming out. It was the biggest one that comes to mind. There's a
League of Legends.
League. There's a spin-off
Why did I say
from
that like that?
Castlevania. I think it's Castlevania.
I heard about the Castlevania one. Yeah.
Resident Evil's getting another one.
Resident Evil, yeah.
Hand it back to me. Okay, so tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time, there's a pre-show, and then 11 a.m. is Ubisoft Forward pre-show. 12 o'clock is when the conference starts. So it looks like Ubi's the biggest thing tomorrow, because then it's followed up by Gearbox having a showcase from 2 till like 2:44, which they're the developers from Borderlands, right?
Yeah.
So
Might show Tiny Tina.
the Tiny Tina thing, but that's still 40 minutes of gameplay. I doubt that. They got something else to show in my mind. Games Beat session from 2:45. That I don't know what that is. Broadcast pre-show Sunday, and then we got 24 Entertainment Naraka Blade Point gets a half hour, and then Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase is from 10 till like noon.
We're on Sunday now.
And then you run Square Enix from 12:15 till 1:45. Definitely Avengers Conversation, and probably the Guardians of the Galaxy game gets revealed. Warner Brothers Games Back for Blood gets a half hour, and then PC Gaming and Future Games close out the day. And then Monday is a bunch of individual stuff. So you've got Verizon, Intellivision, Take-Two, Mythical Games, Indie Showcase, Freedom Games, Ven, Capcom, and Razer all have pieces of the show. Take-Two is the biggest one in my mind. I think Take-Two probably talks about
gives an update on whatever Rockstar's doing, maybe, and then probably talks about the new BioShock. And then June 15th is the last day of the official E3, and you've got Nintendo's Nintendo Direct and Nintendo Treehouse Live starting at 9 a.m. And then the next thing after is Bandai Namco, and then Eureka Studio, GameSpot, Play for All, and official E3 2021 awards show to close it out.
The Nintendo one is hype.
Interesting. All right. So, what do you think, Joe?
I missed the PlayStation Indies thing that they did Thursday, right? That was the day I came home early, and they did Elden Ring too, right?
Totally forgot that E3 was starting.
Like, I didn't see anything from it.
Kena Bridge of Spirits had more gameplay.
I did.
In Sifu, I don't remember what that Kung Fu game is called. That got some more too. You're looking very shocked.
I don't.
Okay, so you're not gonna get a traditional PlayStation conference. I think Xbox is gonna have some hits.
They're
think-
talking about Starfield, so they better come away.
Yeah, but that's
Best
just
show.
Bethesda. I think Xbox is also gonna have some stuff.
It's gonna show Halo.
Obviously
and
Halo.
Starfield, they need to win the show. If they don't, they're.
We getting a new Halo game finally.
Halo Infinite will be releasing
It'll
this
actually
fall.
Be good.
Well, they delayed it
After
and they
being
were like,
delayed.
they realized they were like, yeah, guys, we're not at the point we need to be showing you stuff. So they were like, we're gonna go through a complete redevelopment of stuff. And they've been showing some screen grabs of maps and areas.
Ronnie, it looks like
Good.
according to that schedule, I don't think any of our DC games are gonna get talked about.
Yeah, I was just saying on that too. I didn't think so either. Who knows? We'll see.
Because
Because Warner Brothers.
in my head,
has
that's
something.
gonna talk about it's gonna be fandom.
Yeah.
Originally, that's what I thought you were gonna
Yeah.
get something at E3 and then something at fandom, but now that they're staying entirely away from E3, I think it's all fandom.
Warner Brothers isn't even showing like Harry Potter.
They're showing Back for Blood,
Yeah.
but that's just because that's this fall.
Yeah.
Which hopefully we all play that. Back for Blood looks tight.
I'll Google it. Joe.
It's
Left 4 Dead.
it's essentially Left 4 Dead, so it's a 4-person co-op running through a map, taking out zombies with systems and stuff. It's like Call of Duty Zombies, but better, I guess.
Gotcha.
Um,
I'm familiar with that.
so I can't.
Oh.
And I mean,
Yeah, no, that looks
maybe
cool.
if there's anything cool from E3, we'll probably talk about it next week. We'll see. We're gonna try. Do we want to try? We'll talk about this now on camera, so it can be a part of the audience. Do we want to try and do Loki episode 2 on Wednesday again? Do we want? Is that our
I can
goal
try.
to try?
Yeah.
I can try for Wednesday, but if I do, it's gonna be around 10.
Okay, so Wednesday late, according to Ronnie.
Wednesday is fine for me. My classes are done after basically today.
We'll just get you a Red Bull. It'll be fine.
Then I won't go to sleep.
Well, because he's got to work in the morning.
Ronnie stays
But
up
you
till, like,
should
3
be
a.m.
fine. If we
anyways.
get the truck for you the night before and you got it at the house, you don't have to go that far.
I'm-
And you could work a little longer in the sun.
I know
just
Ronnie
saying,
will still
if we
be up.
wanted to-
It's fine. I'm just saying we're family's down.
Yeah, I know. That's why it would probably be better to do it late anyway. Anyway, we're gonna do it. We'd have to do it late.
Sounds night out.
We could probably get a little dad action or something.
God no. No.
just
and
sitting on the couch, get the whole fam's
No.
reaction to Loki.
I will.
All right.
Dude, we get Joey Plays Games Senior on deck on the podcast.
So, thank you guys so very much for watching. We will see you guys next week. Hopefully, Wednesday, Thursday, when episode 2 of the podcast for Loki gets uploaded. But you never know; it could end up being Saturday again.
because I'm gonna do my homework and then edit this and post it. So, yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching. Like the video. I had a blast recording this. Somehow we ran an hour long, but that's just because we started talking about news and scrolling Twitter and just hanging out and vibing. But that's what this podcast is, and that's why I love it. That's why I look forward to it. Comment your thoughts below.
Being bros.
Down on Loki episode 1, fantastic pilot. Comment your thoughts on whatever you think is going to get revealed at E3. Any big predictions? Whenever that Spider-Man No Way Home trailer is going to drop. I don't know. Just tell us how your day is. Tell us if you want us to start taking fan questions from Twitter. If I just start tweeting and no one responds, I'm just going to get sad. So I'd really appreciate if somebody down below would actually go in and ask us questions to talk about live on the podcast, because that would be great. I'd love that. That would give me so much serotonin in my brain. It'd be great.
At the dead end of the podcast, you do not have that good for much good. You don't have that good through time.
Huh?
You don't have that good watch time.
Oh, I know.
Like,
Thank you very much. I try not to look at the YouTube statistics because it just drives me
my
nuts.
channel.
Yeah, go check out Owen's video on Noah Centineo. That was really something. Yeah.
Something.
Subscribe,
Yeah.
turn notifications on. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.